Yo, welcome to Amato Tarot. This is going to be some tarot advice for some everyday topics that, some folks might be dealing with. And in this episode, we're going to talk about dating in 2025. All right. So we are going to do a 5-card spread. We are going to see what the cards give us as far as tips for dating in this modern age of dating. I do not claim to be any sort of expert when it comes to dating. I have been dating for about the past year and a half in my life, and I've learned a lot of things. The first thing that I would like to say before we see what the cards say, I believe the most important aspect to dating is coming from a place of self-love, right? Like, this is you understanding all the parts of yourself that you appreciate. This is you diving into your wounds much better in your life and in yourself, and recognizing those wounds and healing those wounds. Because really in dating, we tend to date each other's wounds, right? Ideally, you are a secure person, right? I really hope that if you haven't looked into attachment style, you start to dive into attachment style, especially if you're dating. But regardless, attachment style is a powerful lens to understand some of our earliest and deepest wounds and how it's impacted the way we connect with people, right? So ideally, if you are a secure person, you meet another secure person, and you have chemistry, the astrology works out, you vibe, you're each other's best friends, you have great sex, and that is an ideal romantic situation if that's what you're looking for in terms of a monogamous relationship. But in my opinion, I don't believe anyone is secure. I don't believe anyone is raised securely. I believe that you have to earn security. So the first tip that I have for dating is really understand what you love about yourself and understand your wounds, because this is going to build your security in dating. In my opinion, the most attractive quality as far as what I've been trying to embody and what I'm looking for in another person is confidence, right? If we start to appreciate ourselves more, love ourselves more, then we start to spend more time with ourselves, and we really love spending more time with ourselves. That is the most beautiful love that you can have. And then hopefully you can find someone who's along their path when it comes to that, right? So that's the most important aspect of dating for me. Again, it's the hardest thing to do in dating, which is, again, loving yourself and recognizing your wounds and healing your wounds, right? Another aspect of dating that I believe is very important is know what you want, right? Understand your dating intentions and then express them early on in early dating, right? Because this is where a lot of people don't really know exactly what they want when it comes to dating. Some people think like, oh, I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm looking for something that's monogamous and long term, and then that might switch up along the way. And if you don't know exactly what you want, then you end up in messy situationships. You end up in messy circumstances sometimes, because one person wants one thing, and then you said you wanted one thing, but you weren't truly clear. And then those, lines got skewed along the way. And then now we have a conflict in what these two people want, or what these people want out of dating and relationships. So know what you want, state your intentions early, and whatever that is. And in my opinion, and I'm sorry to be so absolute about this, when it comes to dating, you should either be looking for something that is casual and not serious, or you are looking for something that is long term, right? Because again, if it's anything in between, and if you're figuring things out, then that's when things can get, pretty complicated, right? Because if you don't know exactly what you want, and then you meet someone and then a spark is there, and maybe you're becoming intimate emotionally or physically and connecting with the person, now, if you don't know what you want and you become entangled, that can become a very, tricky, unfortunate situation where people can get hurt, right? So again, know what you want, express those things, and then in my opinion, it should be on the opposite ends of the spectrum. It should be something casual. I'm just here for a fun time and not a long time, right? Or it's something where I am here for something that is going to be a long time, long-term situation. And then know what you want before you even start catching vibes, spreading vibes, going on the dating apps, meeting people. Know exactly what you want, right? So let's see what the cards give us here. We're going to cut it first and start with a card from the bottom of the deck. And we have the World. All right. So the world is a lot, and this really just kind of speaks to what I was talking about. The world is about a completion. The world is about really knowing who you are, finishing a cycle. This is the last card in the major arcana, right, in the tarot. And then the first card, or the zero card of the major arcana, is the Fool, right? So when you've accomplished the world and you know what you want and you know what you've been through, and you've ended or completed a cycle in your life that, might have been difficult, but something that you're proud of, then you achieve the world. And then this also means like, if you're looking for love, if you're dating, you got to get out into the world, right? Like I was online dating for a while and it really served me and helped me because I didn't know anything about dating when I first started dating. And I went online because that's what people did. And I wasn't a very confident person. And it helped me meet a lot of really wonderful people. But online dating is not the only form of dating. And I know a lot of people have a lot of negative stigmas when it comes to online dating, right? And online dating is just like one tool that you can use to meet people. But one of the most powerful tools, and really the most powerful tool when it comes to dating and meeting people, is getting out into the world. Okay? So we are going to get 5 cards here from the deck. And let's see what comes up for us. This is dating in 2025. All right, the first one is the Queen of Wands. And we'll get to what that means in a second. The next card is the Nine of Cups. All right. Third card is the King of Wands. All right, let's go. We'll talk about what that is. All right, you guys know, for you tarot followers, we got divine counterparts showing up in this 5-card spread right now. Fourth card is the Moon. Okay. And then the 5th card is the Lovers. Let's go. All right, good. Hey, good cards for a video that's about dating in 2025, right? So let me hold these up so you guys can see them. We go from the Queen of Wands to the Nine of Cups to the King of Wands, right? I'm going to do my best to hold these up. It's going to be a little messy how I'm holding them. They're going to be a little bit covered. And then we get to the Moon and the Lovers, right? Queen of Wands, Nine of Cups, King of Wands, Moon to the Lovers. And this is going to be really easy, all right? This is a very simple reading as far as dating in 2025 goes. So the Queen of Wands is about taking action, right? So as far as dating goes, right, like you have to understand what signals are. You have to send out signals. And again, if you are not in, sorry, my dog is chewing on something right now. This is going to be happening a lot. This is Luke. You can't see him right now, but he was just chewing on something. Stop that. So the Queen of Wands is about really taking action, being bold, right? If you're in a place where you're confident and you're out in the world and you're, scanning for vibes, you're sending out signals, right? Maybe you saw someone look at you and you felt some attraction there. The story of the Queen of Wands is that she's holding the sunflower, right? And that's pointing towards the sun. Right? So to me, when you're out in the world and you are looking for love, right? You're looking for the light in other people. This is what astrology and tarot is all about. When you have, your astrological connection with someone, where sometimes a vibe is instantaneous and it's just natural and the chemistry is there right off the bat, that's because you are seeing the light in these people. So the Queen is holding this sunflower, which is pointing towards the sun. So that is telling me like, search for the light in other people. And then again, the King and Queen of Wands is about taking action, right? So we'll talk about that in a second. So, if you catch a vibe and if you have a fear of rejection, this is going to be hard, right? Because this is what stops people from putting themselves out there. If they sense that someone is attracted to them, or if they're so attracted to someone and you don't make a move and you're not being bold and assertive, then that's a lot of things. That's your insecurity, your fear of rejection. So if you're in a place where it's like, hey, if you just see someone and you want to go say hi, take that leap of faith and go say hi with this bold, assertive energy from the Queen of Wands. And then if you do that, you get the Nine of Cups, which is about, fulfilling a wish. This is about, a wish come true. And it's like, even if it doesn't work out with this person, even if you don't, maybe you don't vibe with them, even if you don't get their phone number or get their Instagram, or it's not a connection, if you were bold and assertive with that Queen of Wands, the wish that you fulfilled is that you were bold and assertive. Making the move, right, is the wish in it of itself, and that's going to give you more confidence moving forward. If you got rejected, that's okay, because you have to understand that person wasn't meant for you, and there are other people out there, and it's about, you just got to keep swinging the bat. Right. And really, like, you got to be swinging for the fences as often as you can with this bold, assertive energy. Right. And then we have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is a lot. The King of Wands is looking towards the future in a way that is adventurous and spirited, right? So to me, what I'm getting off of this as far as dating goes is, if you are a King of Wands, right, you are excited about dating, right? You are not frustrated by it. It could be very frustrating. Sometimes you have a great connection with someone and it doesn't work out and you have to start over. But it's like the King of Wands is, having an excited way of looking towards the future, right? And again, it's bold, assertive energy. And with the King of Queen of Wands, right, we have divine counterparts in this 5-card spread, right? And these 2 cards are definitely about having courageous energy, right? And standing out in the world and using that fire energy, right? Fire energy is about adventure. It's about being brave. It's about facing fears, right? So if you can tap into fire energy, even if you don't have a lot of fire in your chart, right, then in this 5-card spread, you might end up with a divine counterpart. You might end up with someone that in many ways really fits into your astrological chart, your life, your vibe. And you can meet a really, really great person here. And then the next card is the Moon. Right? So the Moon is a lot. The Moon represents confusion, right? So this is when dating can be hard. This is when, when things don't work out, right? The Moon is about darkness, right? The Moon is also about the Fool's journey and taking the Fool's journey. But the Moon is also about shedding your emotional walls. Right? It's about you becoming more vulnerable, because that's the Moon, right? The Moon is Cancer. Cancer is one of the most vulnerable signs in the chart. And if you can practice vulnerability in a way that you're comfortable with, this is what often leads to the best connections, right? And if you're in a place of darkness and confusion with this Moon, know that what happens when the Moon sets, the sun comes up. Right? There's always another day. There's always another day for you to keep fighting, to keep moving forward. And then look, the last card is the Lovers. Like, how great is that? That in a tarot reading about dating, we have the Lovers, right? And obviously the Lovers is about love, but I always talk about, this is your higher self here, or I like to say your future self. And I like to always talk about how your future self is the version of you that you are working towards, right? Like, you are here because you are practicing self-awareness. You are diving into astrology to understand your ingredients. You are becoming a better person. You are watching this channel because, maybe you're looking for love, or maybe you are just, wanting to evolve and grow, right? You are loving yourself more, right? And this is your higher self. This is your future self right here. And really, you want to make your future self proud. When you put in the work, imagine who you're going to be 6 months from now. Imagine who you're going to be a year from now, after all the hardships that you endure, all the challenges that you're going to face, all the beauty that you're going to experience. You're going to be a better version of yourself. So obviously in a video about dating, when the Lovers is showing up, that's really great. But this is encouraging you to love yourself and to learn how to love yourself. Spend time with yourself. Have fun spending time with yourself. If you could have fun with yourself and you're adding so much value to yourself and your life, that's when the right people show up. That's when sometimes they show up when you're not even expecting it, right? And if you're in a place of like so much self-love and confidence and healing, right, then maybe you meet someone who's on their path of those things. And then, if that happens for you, then it's going to be really, really great. So we'll clarify here. With the Queen of Wands, we have the Ten of Cups, right? So that's just confirming what's already been said. If you're bold and you're adventurous, then you're going to have happiness here, right? But again, the 10 of Cups is about bringing down those cups down into your reality, right? You can't just be dreaming about love. You can't be dreaming about dating. You can't just be dreaming about the right person. You have to take action with this Queen of Wands, right? The Queen of Wands is about action, right? Adventure. So for you to become happy, you need to become more bold in your life. Right? So with the 9 of Cups, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this is holding on too tightly to things that you need to let go of, right? Old patterns, old ways of dating, maybe old traits that you're looking for, that you're comparing to people from your past, right? This is someone that's holding on too tight to what he's had, but he only has 4 pentacles, right? You need to keep going, because the 10 of Pentacles is one of the best cards in the tarot deck. And if you're just going to hold on to 4 pentacles, then you're stuck at 4, right? So in order for you to get a wish fulfillment with this 9 of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles is saying, release old habits, break old patterns. Don't hold on so tightly to who you were. Evolve, adapt, grow, right? And then you're going to get a wish fulfilled. And then with the King of Wands, we have the 4 of Swords. So this is about resting and relaxing. Dating is a marathon, right? Like sometimes people meet someone right away and that's wonderful, right? But sometimes it's a grind, and sometimes you might have to rest from it. Sometimes you might have to recover from it. This is about healing. This is about you, again, spending time with yourself, loving yourself, really enjoying your own time, and taking a break from dating if you need to, right? It's always good to take a break when you need it, right? Some people take breaks for a really long time, and that's what it's encouraging you to do. But again, when you're ready, right, it's about embracing the adventure. Sometimes you got to rest and sometimes you got to adventure. That's all a part of it. Maybe the adventure of dating requires you to rest sometimes, and that's what you have to do. All right, so with the Moon, we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is about blessings, right? Coming up with the Moon here. The Hierophant is about blessing. The Hierophant is about receiving blessings. But the Hierophant is also a teacher, right? So what I'm getting off of this is that, learn how to date, right? Find people on YouTube like dating gurus and all these coaches, right? Find that right person for you. I highly recommend people like Jay Shetty is really great. I believe her name is Sadia Khan is really great. But just find those people to learn from, right? And get blessings from people and learn from people. And then you become the person that can give the blessings with this Hierophant. And then with the Lovers, I'm excited. What's going to come up for the Lovers? We have the Empress. There you go. This is about you being beautiful, knowing your beauty, right? Knowing your abundance, building your abundance, right? Doing it with ease, right? The Empress is all about ease. The Empress is about letting things come to her. She's so beautiful. The Empress doesn't chase, right? The Empress is Taurus energy, right? Taurus is all about knowing and being confident in yourself and not having to chase with this Empress card, right? So for the Empress to come up with the Lovers here, right? It's just telling you can't chase love, right? You can't chase anything in your life. If you are chasing love, right, then that means that it's running away from you. And the moment you stop chasing, that's when it's going to show up. The moment you stop chasing it and you spend time with yourself and really love yourself, then you become this beautiful Empress. All right. Yo, good luck with dating, you guys. We'll do another one of these videos on a different type of topic. So I hope you enjoyed it. Peace, y'all. Have a good one.